Hi and welcome today back in Cologne. I'm trying to bring you this video, and the reason I say I'm trying to is because I'm trying to explain something. And although I'm pretty fluent in English whenever I'm doing small talk or just talking to people, I discovered that I'm not that good at doing that when I have to explain something, especially something medical. Although I of course read medical literature in English, I still cannot explain as good as in German what I'm really trying to say. So I'm going to try to say why plastic can make you, or rather your children, fat when you consume it during pregnancy. There have been 2 studies out last year. One was a cohort study done on 375 women from New York, whose BPA concentration in their urine was measured during their 3rd trimester. And later on, the weight of the children was being checked, and the scientists actually found out that women whose BPA level in their urine was pretty high had significantly fatter children, or more toward obesity tending children. Basically at the same time, late last year, they also did a study on mice and did basically the same thing. They had pregnant or lactating mice and induced them with BPA. They gave them extra BPA, and that was the recommended, or the highest recommended amount of BPA. So basically the equivalent for mice that is allowed for humans, although that is different in every country. I found out basically in France and in Canada BPA is completely banned, I think totally forbidden, whilst in Germany the recommended levels are even higher now than they were a couple of years ago. And that's of course something that people have to work on. Anyhow, back to the mice. I'll link those 2 studies below, and they are in English, so you can read that up for yourself and maybe start a discussion. The mice, the pregnant and lactating mice, got the allowed level of BPA, and their offspring was same as the human offspring, fatter later in life than before. And what they found out about the mice was that their neurobiology had completely changed regarding the mechanisms the satiety hormone leptin takes, because leptin does not properly work anymore for BPA, is an endocrine disruptor. It usually works pretty similar to estrogen, but only on some of those estrogen receptors. So that's the whole estrogen thing regarding cancer and soy and blah. That's another wholly complicated issue. And where was I? Right. The leptin in the offspring of the mice did not properly work anymore, and it never worked again later in their life, which meant that they had no working satiety mechanism anymore, which for a mouse is probably not that bad, except she gets fat. But just imagine what would happen to human beings, those real children of real human moms who had a too high BPA exposure during pregnancy. The kid will be fat, the kid will probably be bullied in school, the kid will have trouble making contacts with the opposite sex, the kid will have low self-esteem probably because it's too fat and because it cannot lose weight, and it might even self-medicate with more food when it fails in losing weight. And I'm like, just because the mother during 3 months of pregnancy had too high levels of BPA, the kid's life is going to be ruined for the rest of its life. That is so terrible. Just the thought of it is so terrible. Although scientists of course say that You cannot completely transfer the mouse results to human beings. Just the thought of that is like terrible, terrible, terrible. So plastic will not make you fat, it only will make your child fat when you have had contact to plastic, or especially BPA, during pregnancy. When the child is already born and it has more contact to BPA, that won't happen. But what will happen could be infertility and testicular cancer when a male human child has too much contact with BPA. And there's other things, but that's always pretty hard to differentiate when what was the plastic, what was the food, what was the other environmental factors and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, people do not know enough, but they do know that now that BPA, higher BPA levels during pregnancy can cause obesity later on in life, and that's too bad. So if you're pregnant, stay away from plastic. Go zero waste. That's it for now. See you soon. Bye bye.